Fit for Life Radio, episode number 80.
That feels good.
Feels good. We're here, Gary and Will.
What up?
I'm sure you just finished your boring podcast. Now you switch over to the one you were looking forward to all along.
Yeah.
And today, let's talk about COVID-19 and stress eating.
Ooh.
So the last year, pandemic
Has been pretty shitty.
virus, a lot of people we meet with,
Dude, like every person we meet with.
that's their driving factor. They're, man, I'm at home more, I'm stressed more, I'm eating more,
Haven't been working out or doing anything
packed
physical.
on the COVID-19.
It's like the COVID 30 is what it seems
30.
like.
So here we are.
Yeah, it's been hard.
If you find yourself, do you find yourself when you kind of are confronted with stressful situations, you resort to stress eating? That's completely normal. Now, some people, when they get stressed, they don't eat.
Yeah, I think you're one of two types. You either like eat everything or you just stop.
Forget to eat, yeah. But especially if you fall in the camp of stress eating, we're going to dive into that. So there's a new study done, and it pretty much kind of confirmed how prone some people are to emotional overeating. But a lot of us don't really need a study to know that.
No.
even you don't even need a pandemic.
Nope.
Something like coastal 19.
Coastal 19.
COVID, you got that virus?
Damn, I got it, baby. I've had
Coastal
it.
19.
I've had it for years.
So, you don't even need COVID-19. You could just have a stressful day.
Yeah, and no.
You could have a
You know how you do it.
podcast co-host that you hate,
Yeah,
and they stress you out.
every time.
Do you know how that feels?
Every time I know exactly how it feels.
And you start stress eating. So, but the cool thing really that the study found, and what we're going to dig in with, is the positive of cognitive flexibility. What'd you just call me?
What did you just say? What'd you say about
Cognitive.
my mama?
That sounds
It sounds
like
real,
it could be offensive.
Yeah, cognitive.
But so cognitive flexibility, the ability to think flexibly and adapt to changing situations, might be protective against certain types of stress eating.
Yeah. Well, I guess, if you can adapt to a stressful situation, you're less likely to turn to food to make you feel better.
You can kind of manage it. And really what you can do, like we talk about all the time, is the importance of a dial versus a light
turn the
switch.
dial down.
So a lot of people, it's like any amount of stress and they just get
turn
uber
right
stressed,
off.
right? Shut down. Where if you can kind of manage it to where, it could legit be something that should be and is super stressful, like a pandemic.
Yeah.
But
job,
if you
whatever.
can manage that and not let it feel as stressful as it really is, then you can kind of make better decisions and handle things.
For sure.
Especially like stress eating better. Bringing awareness to it and knowing what's up and then kind of tackling it. So with this, so a lot of people think, oh, well, you're either just someone who has higher cognitive flexibility or you don't.
Yeah. This is me. This is how I do it. And that's the end of the line for the rest of my life. That's not true.
No. Now, some people struggle with it more than others, which just is going to mean that you just might have to work on it more, which luckily it is something that you can work on. There are some things too, certain conditions that, do make it a lot harder. Like if you have ADD, autism, kind of addictive type personality traits, central nervous system disorders, all these things are going to impair your kind of executive function that controls your cognitive function. So those are things that, it's going to be a bigger uphill battle.
But again, still possible.
Yeah. And then another one is stress itself, right? Which is kind of what we're talking about. So stress can trigger like where your cognitive function declines, and you start to kind of lose your ability to do it.
To basically think rationally about something too. So.
Now, okay, so we kind of laid that out. Cognitive function, it is on a scale, and there are some things that kind of can
Make
it tougher, derail it. But now let's focus on how do we get more of it? How do we improve it?
How do we flex it?
Like we've established, it's not something you just have. You can increase it, and it comes from training.
Practice.
Practice.
Just like working out, just like anything.
Mm-hmm. So to improve it, you have to look for opportunities to improve it, where you can work on it. So what we want to do, we think would be fun, is go through a little self-assessment.
Let's assess. Let's do it.
Now, you can play along. If you're sitting there, you can take your time.
Write your notes down.
Take your notes. Keep your score. But even in general, if you're driving or something, just, you can kind of think about it.
A little mental checklist.
You get a general sense of things. So
let's go through it.
Pull it up.
I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. So again, cognitive flexibility means being able to think in different ways about situations and come up with desired responses. So what we're really trying to address is specifically stress eating as a response to stress. Mm-hmm. So you just really want the ability to stop, kind of bring awareness to, notice what you're doing, and then make other decisions on how to help with your stress that don't involve eating food. So, number 1.
Let's do it.
I seldom have choices when deciding how to behave. And think through this. You're thinking you either like 0, strongly agree, up to 5, strongly disagree. So let's just have you, Will, take it. We'll get your score.
Let's do
See
it.
How you are. 1, I seldom have choices when deciding how to behave.
Nah.
Got your number down?
I got it.
2, I have the self-confidence necessary to try different ways of behaving. Strongly disagree to strongly agree.
Got it.
And real quick here, questions 1, 3, 7, and 12 are reverse scored.
Oh, that's tricky, man.
That hurts my brain, thinking about having to do that. So, number 3, I feel like I never get to make decisions. I'll let you decide on what podcast to do today.
Yeah, here we are.
4, my behavior is a result of conscious decisions that I make. This is I think this one, a lot of people we can become where almost like we feel like a victim.
Like we're in a whirlwind and we're not in control.
Things are just going to happen. Our decisions aren't going to matter.
Yep.
Number 5, I'm willing to listen and consider alternatives for handling a problem.
For sure.
Number 6, I am willing to work at creative solutions to problems.
I'm good, man. I'm rolling.
7, I avoid new and unusual situations. This one is, especially as we get older. When you're a kid, you're kind of forced into stuff.
Yeah.
But you can easily kind of hermit crab up.
Yeah.
Got to keep pushing. 8, in any given situation, I am able to act in ways that match that situation's specific needs.
Specific. I'm good at that. Next.
I have many possible ways of behaving in any given situation.
I'm feeling good so far.
10, I can communicate an idea in many different ways. 2 more. I can find workable solutions to seemingly unsolvable problems. 12.
Last one.
I have difficulty using my knowledge on a given topic in real life situations. Ooh, this one we could do a whole podcast.
That's a good one.
Because
knowing versus applying.
Almost everyone nowadays has so much knowledge.
So much information
and get it out there. But people aren't practically applying it in real life.
Say the question again. Was it a negative?
I have difficulty using my knowledge on a given topic in real life situations. 0, strongly agree. 5, strongly disagree. And that was one of the ones that's reverse scored.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, so now
So I got to add this up.
add them up.
All right,
What you got?
41. Does that mean I'm broken?
That means so 45 and above is you probably have fairly high cognitive flexibility. 28 to 44.
Damn, that's a big range. You're okay.
Your flexibility is moderate.
I'll take moderate.
And then 27 and below, your cognitive flexibility may be lower. So typically, if you're 27 and below, so lower cognitive flexibility, you likely prefer highly structured systems with clear rules and processes.
That's you, man. 100%.
Good thing I didn't take this. So, but actually, when you think about it, though,
if you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late. So having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out. If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late. So having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out.
I don't know. This is where it's interesting because, then it says, these are great when you have those systems and procedures available, but you may struggle when life doesn't follow the script.
You do a good job.
I do like
that.
rules and processes, but then I like to make them myself. You know, so in general, I've always been an entrepreneurial type mindset and approach, and I like that because there is no structure and rules.
Yeah,
you have to create
make
them
your own.
yourself. So that's something to think about. In the moderate area, you can innovate on the fly in problem solving. Other times, you may feel a bit stuck or blocked or have trouble coming up with creative alternatives. You might work best with more structured systems that give you occasional room for spontaneity, which is kind of probably where you do lie.
100%. Accurate enough.
then for the above, highly cognitive flexibility.
You might need to work on that.
Reading is hard. This means you can respond creatively. Talking's hard.
Talking is hard. Reading's hard.
Creatively and diversely to situations. You don't get stuck on rules, procedures, or doing things only one way. You're probably open to new ideas and ways of thinking, and you probably like having lots of options. You may find you don't like having too much structure, which can mean that sometimes you're investing unnecessary effort in reinventing the wheel. So you can see some of the actual cons is not completely,
it's not
neither one is like super wrong, super right.
Yep.
You could almost argue that moderate might be ideal
The best,
for
yeah.
most. So think about that, right? And again, you're not wrong for being low cognitive, but it is a skill that you want to develop and work on. And like we talk about all the time with nutrition, healthy eating, it's so much about things that aren't just like what are the specific foods you're eating.
Yeah,
it's about your cognitive function. Like, can you handle stress? How do you handle it?
How do you handle it when your day goes sideways and you still have to try to eat
or you're
close to what you want to eat?
Yeah, your year goes sideways. You're stressed with the pandemic and it changes everything.
You have to work from home or you lose your job, and then how do I still maintain my structure with that?
And again, a lot of people immediately, it's double whammy. You're stressed and now you're at home more, and maybe your food environment's jacked up. So you're around these over highly palatable foods, and that's what's going to happen. And then it's being able to step back and be like, man, I'm not wrong or bad.
No.
Or at fault per se. It's literally, well, how am I handling stress? Well, another one that we've done episodes on is, well, what's my food environment like? How am I setting myself up? So, again, accept and allow it to be possible just to understand that high levels of stress make things harder. And now we can combat that with practicing our cognitive function and trying to improve that, and really just being more aware that this is happening. And then kind of playing off of that, practice optimism and gratitude. So you have to kind of be encouraged and notice like, oh, I am stress eating, and then maybe you even then continue to stress eat, but now you're noticing it and naming it.
Awareness is a big part of changing anything. So you have to be aware before you can even start to change whatever it is, whether it's your eating or your stress levels or your training or whatever it may be. Like, you got to know what's going on before you have any type of plan or structure to address it.
And then from there, it's chipping away at it, understanding it is a skill. You're not going to get it right away. Just like if you've never played catch, you're not going to be able to throw a baseball and catch a baseball the first time you try. It's going to feel awkward. So same thing with working on your cognitive function skills.
And a lot of it's taking a step back in a situation. That's really, I think, for the most part, what it is. And deciding to do something instead of almost being pulled into like the whirlwind, like I said earlier. You're deciding an action. That doesn't have to be perfect, but you taking that, taking charge of it and making that executive decision is flexing that that skill.
And a lot of the skill is, again, that's where that little quiz is great, is kind of know who you are. If you're someone that falls into low cognitive function and you need rules and structure and all this stuff, guess what? Then don't try. Then if you have no plan, no structure, you're kind of setting yourself up to struggle even more. So be like, you know what? This is who I am. And you're kind of having some cognitive function of like, let me now create some rules and structure. So, hey, I keep stress eating on this snack, on these Pringles that are always in my pantry. So let me just, say I'm not going to mindless snack, and I'm not going to take the Pringles off the grocery list, and I'm not going to have them in my house. Now you're creating a successful environment for you to succeed with that.
Yeah. And I'd say that, knowing that about yourself is probably the most helpful thing, because you're not going to be the same as somebody else. Like some people can have a snack in the house, have one or a half of an Oreo, whatever it is, and be good. You know, like I've talked about it before. Whitney's kind of like that. She can have one Oreo out of a whole pack and not touch them for a whole month, right? Just like, oh, deciding I don't want to eat that. If it's there, bro, I'm gonna eat whole pack.
Yeah.
So my solution to myself is like, just don't have it in the house, and I won't eat it, and that's easy. Don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So you have to know that about yourself, and that you're not going to be the same as somebody else. That's, I think, a big part of it.
Yeah.
Because we compare ourselves to other people way too much and see like, oh, well, this works for this person. Why doesn't it work for me? What's wrong with me that, that doesn't work? Well, you're just a different person. You handle stress differently. You handle, maybe you have less structure than the other person. Like, that's just life. We're all super different.
Yep. And that's why when people try these all or nothing approaches and see these certain diets and maybe they know someone that it worked great for, it's because they're also it's not going to be like that for everyone. So then when someone's standing on the mountaintops like, this is the greatest thing
This is
ever,
the best thing,
and then you go try it and it doesn't work for you and you feel like, well, I failed.
Yeah, you feel like you're the problem.
Yeah, and really you were just trying to put a square into a circle, right? So that's why it's better to have basic principles and then make it your own. Follow the principles and then make the method work for you and your own. And ultimately too, you're not going to be able to push off these other things, your food environment, your ability to handle stress and all these things. Like, it's, again, we talk about it, it's the how, the why. Those things are just as important as the what.
Yeah, I would argue they're almost more important, because without those, man, you're getting nowhere. Yeah. Even if you know all the right things to eat or you buy them, the how and the why still dictate what you actually do.
Yeah.
So,
stress eating, cognitive function. So that's the takeaway. So again, we didn't need to dive into the study on stress causes stress eating. So, but the cool takeaway was the piece on noticing the cognitive function, and people who had more flexibility with it were able to handle it better and overcome it.
Yeah.
So that can be you.
Yeah. The big takeaway is you can still you can make a change with that, and you're not just doomed to be like, oh, this is who I am. I don't handle stress well. That's the end of the road. Like, you can get slowly better at it over time. It just takes work. It takes making just like one decision, right? It could be just saying no in the moment too to something. Like, you know what? I'm here and I'm going to say no to a donut.
Yeah.
Right? Well, that snowballs, and we always tell people that it snowballs, and it gets easier to make that decision next time because you're practicing that skill. So, it might be a little bit harder at first to make those decisions, or it might be like not stopping at Chick-fil-A on the way home, or getting a better option somewhere. And making those decisions will always get easier. And then the more you do it, it almost becomes part of who you are. Like, I make these decisions on the fly really well, and you get more confident and feel way better about it because you're the person that can always make a decision, based around your situation.
Yeah. And realize you can practice it all the time. Not just with eating, right? Like doing new things, going to a gym for the first time, or just anything really, like that's kind of sets you out of your comfort zone, is going to make you more cognitively aware and push you a little bit. So do stuff. Yeah.
And another easy one is like the days where you don't feel like, maybe going to the gym or even going for a walk or being active, and still doing it and, adjusting your intensity if you feel a little off. But like, it's like brushing your teeth. You just do it. And the more you do it, the easier it gets on those days where you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. Well, you still show up and do it. But that first time might be like climbing a freaking mountain to get to the gym or wherever you're going. But after that, it just becomes easier and easier and easier to shrug that off and be like, nah, I'm going to do it. I'll probably feel better afterwards. And you're, getting better. Practice.
Progress, not perfection.
Always.
All right. Hopefully you can pull from that, get some use, nod your head a little and say, these guys, they're kind of, they're a little suspect, but I think
real suspect.
They got something. They know something.
We know a few things, but there's a lot that we're just, we're idiots. It's okay.
And if you're ever interested in getting some support, accountability, coaching, we do nutrition coaching worldwide, global.
Prestige worldwide.
Working with Elon Musk on, Mars. So we can take clients eventually.
That's us, man.
If you're on Mars or the moon, wherever they're going.
Dude, if we had a nutrition client on the moon,
On the moon,
can you imagine
what would be like?
that
Hey
advertisement?
man, I keep tripping up on like what like what do they get those little MRE things?
Yeah.
Probably.
Or like tubes,
Yeah.
just tubes of stuff.
Man, the salt and vinegar MRE, salt and vinegar
It's just
Pringle
doing me
MRE.
in. Nah. We should try those one day.
So yeah, and then if you're in Newport News, Virginia area, Virginia Peninsula, we are Coastal Strength and Fitness. So group training gym. Come holla at us.
Yeah. We got
Social
you.
media, you can reach out, give us ideas, topics. Hopefully, like we try to pick stuff we think is going to help you guys. But anything, that you think
Feel
will
free
help
to
you,
ask some questions.
Let us know.
Even if you think it's a dumb question, it's probably a good one.
All right,
See you.
take it easy.
As always, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to learn more, check us out at coastalfitnessva.com or garydeagle.com. We'll see you next time.